This little plug delivers just a few minutes of electricity at a time. And yet it may be the most valuable piece of hardware in the entire car industry, because nearly every major car maker on Earth spent the last decade trying to kill the company that built it. Then, one by one, they surrendered, and paid that same company for the privilege. To understand how, rewind to the late 2010s. Electric cars had finally gone from science project to genuine mainstream. And one company completely, almost embarrassingly, owned the entire category. It sold more electric cars than every rival on the planet combined. Wall Street crowned it the most valuable car company in history, worth more than the next 10 automakers stacked together. In Detroit, in Stuttgart, in Tokyo, the old giants watched their century-old lead evaporate in real time. And they did what giants do when they're threatened. They declared war. They pledged truly staggering sums. Over the following decade, the global auto industry would commit more than $1 trillion to electrifying everything they made. And every single launch arrived, wrapped in the exact same two words, splashed across every headline: Tesla killer. Ford electrified its most iconic name and built a Mustang that ran on batteries. General Motors promised 30 new electric models. Volkswagen bet practically the whole company on the switch. A hungry young startup called Rivian raised billions to build electric pickup trucks, before it had delivered so much as a single vehicle to a single customer. On paper, the plan looked almost too obvious to fail. Build an electric car just as good as a Tesla, wrap it in a century of brand loyalty, and simply take the customers back. And here's the thing, they actually pulled it off. The new cars were quick, sleek, and genuinely excellent. Critics loved them. The reviews were glowing, so the giants leaned back, folded their arms, and waited confidently for the sales to come flooding in. They didn't come. Something invisible was quietly stopping buyers from making the switch. And it had almost nothing to do with the car itself. To find that something, stop looking at the car. Look instead at the one place every electric car eventually has to stop. Because an electric car is only ever as good as the moment its battery runs low, out on a highway, hours from home, with somewhere to be. A gasoline car refuels almost anywhere on Earth in 5 easy minutes. An electric car needs a fast charger. And back then, fast chargers were rare, scattered, and maddeningly temperamental. So every car maker quietly faced a second, far harder job. Not just building a great car, but building the entire network of places where people could actually charge it. Most of them looked at that job and decided it was somebody else's problem. They built the cars and left the charging to a loose patchwork of third-party networks. And those networks were, to put it kindly, a disaster. Broken touchscreens, dead stalls, payments that wouldn't go through, cables that flat out refused to start a session. Independent studies of public chargers found something staggering. Roughly 1 in 5 attempts to charge simply, silently failed. Now imagine 1 in every 5 gas pumps just refusing to pour. That was the ordinary, everyday reality of trying to live with an electric car. Meanwhile, quietly, years earlier, Tesla had placed a completely different bet, one almost everyone else thought was a waste of money. Starting back in 2012, it refused to wait for anyone else to solve charging. It built its own chargers, the Superchargers, and strung them coast to coast across the country. And it obsessed over the single thing every rival network ignored. They simply had to work. Pull up, plug in, charge, leave. Every time, no drama. By the early 2020s, Tesla's network wasn't just the largest fast-charging system on the continent. It was, by a wide margin, the most reliable one too. A Tesla driver rolled up and plugged in without a flicker of doubt. Every other driver rolled up and quietly crossed their fingers. And there was the twist the whole industry had missed. The car itself was becoming a commodity. The charging network was the real moat, but a literal wall stood between the two worlds. Tesla's plug was a different physical shape, a sleek, proprietary connector only Teslas could use. The rest of the industry had rallied behind a bulkier, clunkier standard called CCS. 2 rival plugs, incompatible by design. One side had the cars, the other had the network. And whichever plug became the standard would quietly control the toll gate for every single electric mile ever driven in America. Then, in 2022, Tesla made a move almost nobody in the industry saw coming, and even fewer understood. It took its prized proprietary plug, quietly renamed it the North American Charging Standard, and then offered it to every single competitor on Earth, completely free. It had pulled a stunt like this once before. Back in 2014, Tesla had thrown open all of its patents to the world, inviting rivals to just take them. Its competitors scoffed. Why on earth would you give away your single biggest advantage? It looked, for all the world, like a generous gift. It was actually a trap, because a rival can copy your battery, your software, even your factory. What it cannot copy is thousands of chargers already sunk into the ground, already switched on, already working. The legacy giants now faced a genuinely brutal choice. Either spend another decade and billions of dollars building a network that worked half as well, or simply plug into Tesla's network tomorrow and instantly hand their customers the one crucial thing their cars had always been missing. In May of 2023, Ford blinked first. Its chief executive sat down on a live stream beside Elon Musk and adopted Tesla's plug on the spot. And within weeks, the entire dam broke. General Motors followed, then Rivian. Then the floodgates simply gave way completely. Mercedes, Volkswagen, Hyundai, Toyota, Honda, Nissan, Volvo, Polestar. One after another, they all abandoned their own plans and switched to Tesla's plug. Every so-called Tesla killer now rolled off the line with a Tesla-shaped socket built into its side. The rivals were charging their cars, quite literally, on their rivals' rails. Then the industry's own standards body made the whole thing official. Tesla's once proprietary connector became the certified national standard, stamped, codified, and permanent. The company they had spent over $1 trillion trying to bury was now, improbably, the landlord that every last one of them had to rent from. And every non-Tesla driver who pulls into a Supercharger today pays Tesla a small cut for the electricity. Millions of cars. Billions upon billions of future miles. Tesla had given away the hardware for one simple reason: to permanently own the road that every electric car now runs on. So step all the way back and look at what Tesla had quietly, patiently built while everyone was staring at the cars. The cars, that flashy, glamorous product everyone fought so bitterly over, sit in a brutal, overcrowded market. Dozens of rivals, razor-thin margins, and relentless, bloody price wars. The charging network sits, almost serenely, in a market of exactly one. Because a dominant charging network has not one but two powerful moats, stacked neatly on top of each other. The first is the network effect. More chargers pull in more drivers. More drivers justify building even more chargers. The lead doesn't just hold, it compounds on itself. The second is scale efficiency. Once that network is already built and paid for, each additional car that plugs in costs almost nothing to serve and still pays the full price. A newcomer simply cannot touch it. To seriously compete, you'd need thousands of flawless chargers everywhere at once, years of work, and a fortune spent before your very first paying customer. And that is the whole difference between a product and infrastructure. Flashy products eventually get disrupted. Boring infrastructure just quietly gets paid. Every single day, by absolutely everyone. You'll find this exact same shape playing out far beyond cars. Whoever ends up owning the rails wins, long after the noisy race to build the vehicles is finished and forgotten. App stores taking a cut of every app sold. Card networks skimming a sliver off every swipe. Pipelines humming quietly beneath the flashy consumer brands sitting on top. It's the hard lesson the entire car industry just paid $1 trillion to learn. Don't only build the car. Whenever you possibly can, own the road underneath it. The rivals had been so consumed by the race to build a slightly better vehicle that they never noticed they were handing their greatest enemy the entire highway beneath it. So the next time a shiny new Tesla killer rolls onto the stage, don't watch the car at all. Watch very carefully where it plugs in. 3. And looking past the flashy product hype to spot these hidden, unkillable infrastructure moats early is the ultimate secret to finding true generational compounders. Which is exactly what MoatScope is built for. It rates thousands of stocks on the two things that matter most: how strong the moat is and how much you'd pay for it. Quality times valuation on one simple scorecard, so you can spot the widening moats that are actually trading at a fair price. Check out MoatScope at the link below and go find your next compounder.